now, you would have already seen or heard or had the opportunity to take in the conversation about not all those who wander are lost, and that whole thing. So, I reached out to different places. I mean, if you didn't, look at that conversation, you can go check it out. But I did some research on the quote because it's questionable as to where it originated. I mean, it's not that questionable, but I mean, it kind of is. It just depends. But oh my goodness, like Reddit is like the best and worst place at the same time. And I've known this for a long time. I don't use Reddit that often. It's very rare. It can be a great place for research of any kind because you have so many people and you have these little niche like subreddits, and like it can be really great. And a lot of people are wanting to help people out, and then of course it's filled with trolls. So it's just that thing. And I was like, oh my goodness, like so many people like didn't read the question. So many people are just like, yeah, it's this thing, it's that thing. I'm not gonna, yeah, it's from here, it's from there, and like nobody read the fact. I'm like, yeah, I know it's from there, but also I'm wondering if it's from this place because it was written first, it was published first, it's been misattributed for so freaking long and so much that well, not so long, but it's been attributed so much to this one thing that I was like, it makes me question the fact that maybe it's from both. Like maybe that line was also in this other published work, and that the other person, used the line. I mean, it's not a big deal if they did. I wouldn't call it plagiarism even. But it's just like, no one just read the whole thing. They're like, yeah, I've never heard of that before. I've never come into contact with the fact that it came from this other place. It's from this thing. And I'm like, you're not even answering the question that if you, like my question is, where in this one book is it? Because I don't think it's in there, but if it is in there, where? So instead of having 30 people in like an hour say, it's in this other thing, well, that doesn't tell me that you've even read the other book and that it's not in there, because that's what I'm asking. Like, I only brought it to like 4 different subreddits, and yeah, and one of them just really took off, but it was mostly just dominated by people telling me what I already know. And if they actually read the question I asked in like any type of, with any type of attention, like they would have realized, oh yeah, he knows that already. He's asking about this thing, and I don't know that thing, so I guess I'll shut my face and not say anything. Waste of time. Really quickly, I have a rant because I'm still not happy with this. I probably won't ever be happy with it. I probably should have made a different choice too, but that's my fault. So I'm on this medication called pantoprazole. I've been on it for a couple years now. I think just 2 to 3 years, because I was having really, really, really bad acid reflux, and it didn't seem to matter what my diet was. Like, if my diet was, my diet had been pretty consistent at that time. I remember that this just out of nowhere, it was really bad every day. It didn't matter if I ate anything, like certain things, like spices or like just, hot peppers or salsa or tomatoes or whatever. Like, it would be worse some days, but it was still really bad consistently. Even if I had really tame stuff like, just some chicken breast and potatoes and rice or something. So I saw my doctor about it a long time ago. Well, like I said, a couple years ago, and he put me on this stuff. I was taking it every day, and he's like, yeah, you can wean yourself off slowly. You can't just kind of like stop taking it because it's better. Because that'll have the reverse effect. So I've been, weaning myself off slowly, and right now it's still been like I take one every 2 days. Anyway, but I've been taking this for a bit because it helps, and that's, yeah. I needed a prescription refilled, and my doctor was away. This isn't a controlled substance or a narcotic or anything, so the pharmacy can just actually issue the prescription instead of my doctor. So that's what they did, and then I went to pick it up, and then when I went to pick it up, then the pharmacist was like, hey, so actually, this pantoprazole's, like, I saved you $2 because I gave you a different kind. And I was like, what do you mean, like, a different kind? Like, how is it different? And I was like, well, the one is, like, magnesium-based, and one is, what's that other thing? Sodium-based. And I was like, okay. She's like, yeah, they're exactly the same. There's no difference. I just saved you $2. And I was like, well, first of all, I've been taking the other one for years, and that's what I assumed I didn't know there were two different kinds. I didn't ask to be saved $2. Like, and I was like, there has to be another difference. So it was like, she was like, yeah, there's no difference. I'm like, so if they're exactly the same, you said one was sodium based, one was magnesium based. Well, there's a chemical difference, isn't there? And she was like, well, yeah, but it's kind of like the same thing. And I was like, so you have two different medications that are really the same medication, that are called the same thing, that just have a different base, and you just interchange them. Like, I don't get it. And she's like, well, like, people say that the magnesium or the sodium based one is just like a little bit better, but like really in like the research and stuff, it doesn't really say that there's any difference. And I was like, well, what? So like you downgraded me because I was on the sodium when she gave me the magnesium one. She downgraded me to one that might not work as good to save me $2. I didn't ask for that. Now my fault is the fact that I didn't force her to be like, no, I want the magnesium one. Like, that's what was on my file. That's what I was prescribed. That's what I've been taking for 2 years. Can I just get that one instead? And I just like, I don't know, for whatever reason, sometimes in social situations like that, I just don't press hard enough. And I should have just been like, because I was just like, the audacity. Like, why would you assume, what? You didn't ask me. You just did it. You got it already, and now I'm going to have to wait like another, who knows how busy you are now. Am I going to have to wait around for a half hour or an hour or come back tomorrow or whatever else? Because I'm going to make you, you put me in a position where now I have to make a choice where you weren't even really giving me a choice, and now I've got to, it was like you were doing me a favor. It's like $2. And it doesn't, even if the medication was only $4 and you saved me half the price, it's $2. Like, anyway, yeah, I just thought that was really rude and disrespectful and stupid. But I need to learn again for me, because now my peace of mind is playing tricks on me. Like, okay, well, I'm going to start taking this new stuff, and like, am I going to mentally, be like, oh, well, it doesn't work as well, and then it starts not to not work as well because I don't think it works as well and all that stuff. I should have just forced it to be like, no, I want the sodium ones. Like, that's what I want. But I guess we're going to give this a shot and see if there's any difference, or if I feel any difference. And even if I don't feel a difference, there possibly could be a difference. If you shop at Michael's, I got a life hack for you. Try and find out if they have a discount section. I'm going to show you where it is at the one in Lethbridge, because it helps me out a lot. So, the discount aisle, or the discount section for me was a fruitless journey today. I feel like most of the time it is for me, but I need to check every single time because I have found some sick deals there. But I've got some great canvas deals there. That's the biggest thing that I have saved money on, because they'll have like a little puncture wound, or it'll be stretched a little bit. And I was like, man, if you just spray it with some water, it'll tighten up, and maybe it'll tighten too much, but maybe it won't. And, I mean, if it's got a little hole in it, you just gesso over that on the front side, on the back side, and, like, they'll sell them for ridiculously cheap because there's something just a little off with it. And it's like, depending on what you're doing with the canvas, or you're doing with whatever the product is, I mean, like, it being a little off doesn't matter. Like, it might suit your needs perfectly. So, and I've seen these discount sections at more than one Michael's, so I encourage you, if you buy art supplies, craft supplies, anything they sell at Michael's, find out where their little discount area is. And both times I've seen them recently at different places, they've been close to the bathrooms. Just at the back, out of the way, little discount section. And they usually have a note, and it says, like, damaged, or it says why, or, like, this thing is missing, or, like, a paint is missing from the set, incomplete set, or something like that. So they usually have notes just saying why they're discounted, right? Anyway, check it out. Just gotta say, the olive green and soft baby pink, and the navy blue, I mean, all three together, I don't know what it is, it just makes it work. The pink and the olive green is what's surprising me. I'm really enjoying it. This outfit has sparked just a color palette that I'm going to try to put in a painting, because I think it'd be really fresh to try and figure out how to do that. I don't know, for some reason I'm thinking it might be like kind of Rothko style, and just kind of like not fading much or doing what I do, which is like, or what I've done in a lot of paintings, and try to do something just a little more uniform, and just like finding this perfect shade and just doing it and having like 3 different, I don't know, I'm gonna try it out. My outfit today inspired my art. My outfit is art, so I did a big dumb stupid. There's a hair on there. Yeah. I left my lunch at school yesterday, which isn't too far from Lethbridge, but it's not in Lethbridge, so it's just annoying. Even if it was in Lethbridge, it'd be annoying that I left my lunch there. I mean, I ate my lunch. I left my container there, is what I left. My used Tupperware, and then a fork in a plastic grocery bag, just sitting on the floor by the teacher's desk. Anyway, I emailed last night, and he didn't respond, so... but I was like, oh, sorry, man, I'm pretty sure it's not a big deal. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to go do right now, is pick that up, because I'm a dumb. So yesterday, when I went to the school I was subbing at, it got me thinking about the Cheers effect, which is like where everyone knows your name, you know, the show Cheers, which I never watched, but I mean, it's a cultural touchstone. So yeah, yesterday, there's like 2 different doors to get into school. There's more than 2, but like there's both that are in the parking lot. One is like the main door, and one is the other door by the parking spot that I use, because it's like visitor parking. And so it's like locked 50% of the time. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. It's like a gamble whether or not it's going to be open. So in the morning, sometimes it's open, sometimes it's not. I went to the door, I tugged at it, it was locked. I turned around, and kind of like in my periph, I saw like somebody on the other side of the glass, like, and I couldn't tell how, like they were far enough away that they weren't like right beside it, otherwise I would have seen them when I was trying to open the door. And then like I heard the door open, and then he was like, John, I got you. And then he like let me in, and I was like, oh snap, it's John. Like, and so yeah, anyway, I don't know, I just had this moment, I was like, oh, that's nice. Like, this whole Cheers effect thing is just translating into more of just like, when I just went there to pick up my lunch, like stuff, because I forgot it. And I was like, man, like I was just walking through school, and I was like, man, like I know so many faces, I know so many names. I was like, it would be kind of nice to like be in a rural area. It could go disastrous though, like my upbringing in a rural area in a very small town of 2,500 people was not good. And it was just like, if people like you, it's good. If people don't like you, it's gonna be real not good. So I don't know. It's but there's a part of me that's like, yeah, it'd be kind of nice to settle down a little bit in a place that's moves a little slower, and that you know, I know that I would stick out, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad kind of sticking out. Anyway, driving thoughts, rural driving thoughts. One of my favorite things on Bridge Drive is just to like start at 70 at like a certain point and just no brakes, just kind of cruise, ride it out. It's a little dicey now that I'm doing it with one hand because I didn't set up the GoPro where it's supposed to go. I just love this drive. Like, it's great. What gets really annoying is when there's people in front of you that are going like really slow and hitting the brakes and doing whatever. However, I can't be too annoyed because I mean I'm the one who's speeding right now. So, oops. Yeah, it's just like it's this weird little thrill that I enjoy, and then we even out and where it's over now. Yeah, I only gained like 35 kilometers. But yeah, I just started out at 70 there. I don't know, I love going through Bridge Drive. Not just for that reason, it's just a beautiful little nook there in the coulees. Man, I cannot wait to get back on my bike and ride these trails. Really quick outro to cap off the vlog here. I got a conversation in there about not all who wander are lost, and where that quote actually came from, if you may have been misattributing it like I was, and also just what I think of people who say that in the context that they say it in. Anyway, so that's fun. The only other thing I have other than the vlog and that conversation is on the Artist Life Podcast YouTube channel, and also just the podcast, Artist Life Podcast, which is a 2-part interview. It's the first interview I've ever done with a local artist in Lethbridge, and so I got to do that last week and put that up this week, and that was a lot of fun. Anyway, with that, we will see you on another time.